So this film feels like an ending to this film series, and particularly for your characters. I mean, what was it like to wrap on this one, and did it feel like an ending at the time?
I don't know, because it's kind of up in the air about whether this is the end or not, but this movie is definitely the culmination and the climax of all of the past X-Men movies, and so there was a sense of finality about it, but it doesn't necessarily... It didn't, when we were filming it, I don't think it felt like this is the last time we'll ever be here.
Kind of, because I think Simon always felt that this was sort of the end of a cycle. So like the First Class cycle, this was sort of the culmination of it. So it kind of did.
Does it feel like the last time you're going to play these characters for you?
Kind of does.
Like, how did that feel then to wrap on it? Because you've been playing these characters for a long time now.
It's always sad when you wrap one of these, not in every film, sometimes you wrap and you're like, peace out, cheerio, can't wait to get home. Get me on the plane with a large G&T. But it's always sad to finish this one. It's a great crew. It's a great bunch of actors. It's a great director. It's a great producer. We are friends. We do feel more like a family than colleagues at times. And that's always sad, you know. But in terms of, because it feels like the last one, I don't know, that was no sadder, actually. There was certain times where I was acting a scene. Like when I was doing a scene with you, one of the few moments we have together, I thought, it's probably the last time we'll get to do this to each other.
That's
you know?
right. And it was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was...
Because we got to mess with each other. Well, you got to mess with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other scene when we were in Paris.
Oh no, Paris was nice.
Yeah.
We'll always have Paris.
We'll always have Paris.
I'd like to know about this messing with each other. How did you
Oh no,
that?
just as a character, Charles gets to just go, Eric gets to just go like, oh, just shut up with your rubbish.
Yeah.
I've had enough of that.
Yeah.
I've had 10 years of that.
We've heard it all before.
Which you have.
Which we have.
Yeah.
No. To me, it felt like a contained film for Phoenix, for Jean.
Yeah.
I felt like it was all about that. Similar to a Logan, you know, where it was just its own kind of thing.
It almost felt like the first chapter to another film.
A whole new world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So fans will be relieved to know that it doesn't feel like the last time you're going to play these characters then.
I think that, I don't think that it is. I think that there will be a moment in which we will, at least do it. A cameo at the least. These movies are so cool and these characters are so poignant, especially within the Marvel comic universe, that, I think it would be a shame.
Absolutely. It felt like it in writing it. Going way back 3 years ago or so when I started conceiving how to adapt what is my favorite of all of the X-Men comics, it felt like it was the culmination, the climax of this saga, this cycle of X-Men storytelling. That started 20 years ago, but really for these actors, obviously, with X-Men First Class, 10 or so years ago. And it felt like the culmination because this cycle has been about strangers coming together to form a family, fighting together for the most part against a common enemy, whether it's Apocalypse or Bolivar Trask or, different characters over time. And this one, that family is tested and ripped apart and forced to deal with trauma in an entirely different way. And so that family we've come to know and love, seeing them ripped apart and then watching them sort of come back together in a more maybe mature way, just felt like that was the culminatory way to send off this chapter of X-Men storytelling.
So are you satisfied with both your character arcs? And is there anything left that you would have liked to explore? Or?
It'd be lovely to go full bad guy with Charles at some point, but that's. I feel like I got to do rather a lot with Charles, so I'm not going to be grumbling about it, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, it's been a really satisfying journey.
Yes, very satisfied. There was so much. It was like a feast. It was just a challenge every single day, and I loved how extensive and rich it was. I was really happy.
And what I love about this film is that it's so female-centric, which is so unusual for a big superhero movie. Could you tell us a bit about your characters and why you wanted to play those female characters?
I like that my character, she manipulates Jean because she wants to use this Dark Phoenix power for her own devices or the devices of her species, but at the same time she empowers Jean. So it's like a very complex, interesting, dynamic character. It's not surface level.
And for me, I just think, I just thought the character was written so honestly and accurately, considering all of the, fantastical things that she's going through. It's quite easy to make it kind of out of this world and not relatable. And the way that Simon wrote this character was incredibly real, and I think it will resonate with everyone.
Well, I mean, the Dark Phoenix story itself is inherently a female protagonist story. I mean, Jean is the lead of the story, and she's kind of the hero and the villain of the story. And one of the things I've always loved about the X-Men comics growing up is they have really strong female characters. You got Jean, you have Storm, you've got Mystique, you've got Rogue, Kitty. There's lots of great, strong female characters, and for the most part, they have not been the foregrounded characters of the X-Men movies. If you think about it, obviously the leads have always been male. They've really been focused on Xavier, Magneto, and Wolverine. And so I saw this movie as an opportunity first to tell a story that had a female lead, and then to also explore and really bring to the fore the strength of these other female characters. And it's just because something these movies haven't done before. It's something that's always been important to me and drew me to the X-Men when I was a kid. And it also reflects the world we're living in right now.
I don't think that it felt like that when we were, at least for me, when we were making it. I think we were just trying to make a really good movie. And then in seeing it, I mean, when you read it, yeah, sure, it comes off as a feminist story. And then when you're doing it on the day, you're like, everyone's doing their own thing. And then you watch and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, girl power.
And did it feel like that when you watched it back as well?
Totally.
There was a quote I saw from you that I really liked, which was, especially in this film, the women are no longer like the big tits in the back.
Exactly. It's so nice. And what I loved about it was that with this movie, Simon really wanted to play things more natural and have it be darker and more muted tones and things like that. And it was funny, on Apocalypse, I was wearing this bra that, like, if I went like this, they'd just, like, pop. They'd go inverted because the cups were so big, because Storm's got really big tatas. And in this movie, I didn't need that bra. So that feels good. We're moving mountains.
So they fixed that for Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I think Simon heard me.
The big tits and the back.
In the back.
Oh, in the
like
back.
At the background.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in the foreground. Absolutely. It's as Mystique says, the women are always saving the men around here. They may as well just call it X-women.